So the WNBA thought that they were slick. Sorry, they thought that they were slick. They thought, that they were going to be able to get away with this. And they did. They did. Not only were they trying to be slick, they got away with it. Do you want to know why they got away with it? Most WNBA fans don't know any history of any players. And ironically, as somebody that, I'm not somebody that was a super duper fan. I watched the league occasionally. I'm not going to pretend that I was some WNBA fan who watched every single game. I knew who a lot of these players were. I watched. I'll just say I watched 10 games a year probably on average from 2013 to 2023. I probably watched 100 WNBA games in my life. And I even knew this. So, if you guys didn't see, during Candace Parker's jersey retirement, they brought this up in front of her. First 2 seasons comparison. Candace Parker, 16.2 points, 9.6 rebounds, 3.1 assists. And basically, people are like, oh, Angel had better stats. Oh, AJ had better stats. Lads, do you know what happened in Candace Parker's second year? I mean this. I know most people don't. But if you guys don't know what happened in her second year, the reason why her stats went down in her second year compared to her first year, she got pregnant. Like, you can even see it on her Wikipedia. Parker missed the first 8 games after giving birth to her daughter. By this time, the Sparks had acquired Tina Thompson and Betty Lennox to help carry the team during Parker's absence. On June 30th, she returned to practice. She played her first game back from maternity leave on July the 5th. She was named to the All-WNBA second team, despite having missed a full month due to maternity leave. In 2010, she only played 10 games sideline for the rest of the season. But, if you guys didn't see, she averaged 18 points in the playoffs, but obviously she didn't have the greatest start because she averaged 13 points. Till she went back to Chicago in 2021. And by the way, the Sky retiring her number after, I understand she won them a title and all, but I still think that's a bit of a weird one. Still think it's a bit of a weird one, the Sky retiring her number. But yeah, it's one of those things where they decide to ignore all that. Ignore all of that. They decide to basically just say, you know what, we're actually going to, because they threw in ages numbers too. They were going to try diminish Candace Parker, because Candace Parker, by the way, is a rookie. As you guys saw, as a rookie, she averaged 18.5 and 9.5. And you're going to make her stats look worse by throwing in a season where she was pregnant, and the season after that, she averaged 20.6 points per game, albeit in only 10 games. So if you want to just say, you know what, again, injured, 18.5 points. Again, she never averaged 13.1 points a game. Again, actually, no, sorry, until 2019 she did. But she didn't for years and years and years. But the WNBA media go on there. They have this graphic made. They thought this was a gotcha moment. They thought this was a fucking gotcha moment. You know they thought it was a gotcha moment. Because Candace Parker is on a podcast with Leah Boston. Leah Boston is Caitlin Clark adjacent. You better believe, as much as you don't turn on Candace Parker in general. You're not going to just toss Candace Parker to the side, but you better believe the treatment to Candace Parker is going to be worse. Why? Because Candace Parker doesn't conform. And it's not, Candace Parker is some Caitlin Clark lover, because Candace Parker, I'm pretty sure, ranked, she put Caitlin Clark on a same tier as Kelsey Plum when she was ranking players. She didn't put Caitlin Clark on the top tier of players, which, in my opinion, with what Alyssa Thomas has done this year, I think it's going to be tough to argue Caitlin Clark's a top 4 player. Maybe you could argue over Stewie, but Fee, Aja, and AT, they've been it is what it is. But yeah, it's one of those things where Candace Parker is now obviously podcast with Aaliyah Boston. She's becoming much more popular, and she's committing the ultimate cardinal sin, saying that it's fine to criticize WNBA players. I think that is the cardinal sin that Candace Parker will never be forgiven for, by saying it is okay to criticize WNBA players. Because that's the one thing. Neko Mumake, the president, came out and basically said, watch, but you're not allowed to criticize players. It was like, be curious, but don't criticize. I'm sorry if I'm a fan of a team and we've got a player who barely moves on offense or can't make an open layup, we're going to criticize. That's sports. That's how fandom works. But the WNBA intentionally chucking in a graphic that included, there were like first 2 seasons, that included a year where Candace Parker literally came off maternity leave. She didn't even start the season. She literally just had a kid. Like, mad. Absolute madness that we're seeing the actual WNBA on a big game on national TV decide to have some sort of a weird gotcha moment towards Candace Parker, because it worked. As you can see on Twitter, so glad the commentator made Candace speak on this, had her reaching for words. Nobody saying Angel's the best in the league, but let's not act like she's trashed, and numbers are numbers. I'm so glad they made her speak on this. They actually called out, on a day to celebrate Candace Parker, they decided to make it about Angel Reese. Why? Because Angel Reese doesn't like Candace Parker. What has Candace Parker said about Angel Reese? I shit you not. She has said that she thinks Angel Reese is the third option, which she is. As everyone like, Angel Reese the first option, the Sky is like, yeah, the Sky stink. She was the first option, the Sky this year. The Sky are the second, are arguably the worst team in the league. She was the first option, the Sky second option, the Sky last year. The Sky stunk. So yes, saying Angel Reese is a good third option is absolutely valid statement. An absolutely valid statement at this point in her career. She even said in the tier list that Angel Reese had the potential to be an MVP. But, Angel Reese has a problem with us, so now the WNBA have a problem with Candace Parker. That's one of the craziest things. They're turning on Candace Parker. It's not about, and by the way, Candace Parker is not some like Caitlin Clark bootlicker either, so it's not about Caitlin Clark. It is about conforming, and to conform, Paige Bueckers has to be the GOAT, and you gotta can't say a negative word about Angel Reese. That's just kind of the way it is. You can't say a negative word about Angel Reese, because let's be real, it's not about respecting players, because with some of the shit that Shaquille O'Neal has said about Angel Reese, but because he's pro-Angel, like, Shaq has basically said, lower the rims and play basketball in booty shorts. And WNBA players need to play basketball in booty shorts. But because he's pro-Angel, he's an angel. Like, he's nothing but good things. But yeah, it is crazy. They're literally turning on Candace Parker. But anyway, I'll see you guys.